The Johannesburg Metro Police Department has demolished several homes that were allegedly built illegally in Alexandra. Now this as the province continues to experience land grabs, particularly under the nationwide lockdown. For more on the story now, let's touch base with our reporter Mbali Thethani on the ground for us in Alexandra this morning. Mbali, again, it almost feels like you and I have the same conversations about ways through which particularly those living in townships have to deal with the prospects of their homes being demolished. Help us understand the circumstances behind this very latest incident.
Well, we do know that the JMPD carried out the demolitions of homes here in Alexandra. And I'm just going to show you here on my left. As you can see, there is this rubble, which you can see that these are freshly built structures. And now they have been reduced to rubble. And of course, as you've mentioned, this is nothing new for Alexandra. We saw these scenes play out even last year under the city of Johannesburg when Herman Mashaba instructed the city to demolish some of the homes here in Alexandra. And of course, we know that land grabs continue to be a major problem, especially in Gauteng. We know that we are faced with issues around in-migration. So you find that a number of people continue to move into Johannesburg and particularly Gauteng looking for jobs. But we know that this has been also something that has been mentioned by government, saying there is this housing backlog in the country. And of course, areas like Alexandra, areas like Lenasia, areas like Grasmere, they continue to see illegal land occupation and land grabs. But just to get a sense of what happened here over the past 2 days when JMPD carried out this demolition process, we are joined by Defu. He is the councillor in this area. Defu, we see this once more, houses being demolished in Alexandra.
Yes, Mbali. I think the situation that is playing itself out in Alex, it's an issue of a property boom. People are taking advantage of open spaces that are there to build rental rooms and rent them out to individuals. So it's unfortunate that we had to break this thing, but the rule of law has to apply at some point, because people can't do as they wish around city-owned property and just people invading of land.
And when you take a look at these structures, they're quite big structures, and you can see that whoever was building here was hoping to even rent out these rooms to a number of people working in and around this area.
Yes, that's why I'm saying in Alex it's an issue of property boom. It's not necessarily people who are looking for houses. It's unscrupulous property developers who come in, invade land, then cash in on the rental backlog, as you have stated before, in Alex, and then they rate them out and exploit our people. So this is not people just invading for seeking of land, but it's people that have seen an opportunity that land grabs. There's money in invading city-owned property, and that's what JMPD did here. They came. There's a court order. They warned the person to stop from building from the onset, but they continued to build. So the city had to come in and step in and do this demolition, as you see.
And how problematic is this for Alexandra? We know that there's issues around water, there's issues around electricity. How does it affect the residents of Alexandra?
During this winter, Mbali, we had a series of electricity problems. City power infrastructure was blowing up, so there was countless outages in Alex, and these are some of the reasons why there were countless outages that City Power were battling to deal with, because people are connecting themselves illegally to city's infrastructure, not just electricity, but the sewer and the water. So it was a huge problem that we were facing, and I'm glad that this happened, because now the community were up in arms, not having electricity for 2 weeks, and they were blaming these illegal structures. Right behind me, there's another informal settlement where the city came to cut their electricity connection, sorry for that, because the load could not be handled by the mini subs and substations that are here, and people now were up in arms saying, no, enough is enough with these illegal structures.
Do you know when these illegal structures went up in this area?
They went up around about, I think, December. They were stopped in December. They stopped. They continued during the lockdown. contravening the regulations of building and doing all this. And yeah, and that's how it happened.
Are you aware of any families who have been affected by these demolitions?
No, there was only the builder who was staying inside one of those houses there, because he was on site building these 3 structures here. So those were that was the only person that was living in the structure. But the structures were incomplete, and city bylaw says they have to demolish before people take occupation of these properties.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, that is a Defo there, the councillor here in this area, just talking about these demolitions. We know that earlier this year, during the Gauteng state of the province, we heard the Gauteng Premier saying that they've set aside at least 100,000 service stands, and this is as they try to address the issues around housing, because housing does continue, Ayanda, to be a problem in Gauteng.
Mbali Thethani, live to us there from Alexandra. Mbali, thanks very much indeed for getting us into the picture story. Without a doubt, that will continue watching for you on the AM Report.